Hi friends, welcome to Harmony Hills Home and Garden. I'm Jenny and we live and garden in Baltimore, Maryland, Zone 7. Over the last couple of days, I have made some changes and updates to my top tier vegetable garden. So I thought I would bring you along and show you what I've done. Come take a look. So you probably remember that last fall we had 3 tiered gardens installed in our backyard. The top one is the one I've designated as my vegetable garden for this year. The middle one will be for cut flowers and the bottom one will be for sunny perennials that I can't have anywhere else because I don't have the sun for them. So the top vegetable garden is the focus for these coming week or two because I want to get the vegetable garden prepped and ready for the vegetable season. Now, I'm not a seasoned vegetable gardener by any means, but I've been reading a lot, watching a lot of YouTube, following along with a bunch of other people, and so I think I'm on the right track for starting a good vegetable garden. Let's take a look at the overhead shot of the garden just a few days ago. I put the drone up and I got quite a few photos of the vegetable garden. And this overhead shot makes it so much easier to do a design and figure out what I'm going to plant where. So I need to be able to walk inside that vegetable garden because I need to be able to get to the plants. It's too far across to really be able to just reach in and take care of the plants that end up going in there. All 3 of the gardens really need to have some sort of walkway put into them or stepping stones or something so that I can care for the plants that are in the centers of each bed. But for the vegetable garden, this was the first thing under consideration. So I printed out a picture of the overhead shot just to get my juices flowing, and I pulled out my tracing paper, which is a method that I have used over the years to design new garden spaces. And I thought, well, the shape of this sure does look like a leaf to me. And so I thought, well, what if I made stepping stone path in the center of the bed that looked like leaf veins? So I drew some things out, tested it out, and yes, I thought that was going to work. So because I didn't have any materials for stepping stones right now, I thought, well, I'll just put some hardwood mulch in that space for the veins, and then I'll leave no mulch on the planting areas until such time as I get plants in there. So I figured I would just use mulch to get started, but then I just happened to look on Facebook Marketplace and I found some used bricks, a big pile of them for like $20. And so I thought, you know what, that is exactly what I need. So my husband and I went and got these used bricks and we brought them home, and I was able to lay them out into what I think is a pretty pleasing pattern. Yeah, so I'm really happy with the way that came out. So then I decided, well, you know what? I don't want them just laying on top of the soil. I need to kind of set them into the soil. So I spent a little bit of time. This is not the technical way to lay a brick pathway by any means. These are not level. These are not even. They aren't sturdy. It's kind of an ankle breaker. I would never make a real sidewalk using this haphazard method. But for the purposes of stepping areas in a vegetable garden, I think it's just fine. And they will settle in as we get rain and the soil settles in around them. So I love the way these veins in my vegetable garden leaf bed turned out. What do you guys think? So then the next thing I needed to do was to take care of my peas. I showed you in a previous video how my pea shoots are all coming up. Right now they're about an inch tall and starting to get some leaves on them, but they will be growing as our weather warms. They're going to be coming right along. So I needed to get a pea trellis in place. And I told you that I was thinking of a couple of criteria for the best pea trellis. 1, it had to be sturdy enough to hold my pea vines. 2, it needed to be pretty because while while there are no peas on it yet, I want it to look nice. And even after the peas are on this trellis, I want it to look nice. So looks were a consideration. 3, I wanted it to be kind of tall because first the peas need it, but also I want to create kind of a pathway, a secret pathway, like a wall of plants down that grassy border down behind the backside of all 3 of my tiered gardens. So I was looking for a trellis system that I could satisfy all of those criteria. And I found one on Amazon and I'm really happy with it. So today I was able to get out on a beautiful day, cool breeze, warm sun, and put up these 4 trellis panels. I latched them onto some rebar that I pounded into the soil, so they're not going anywhere. No wind is going to blow this over. If it does, it's like a hurricane or a tornado force wind. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be really sturdy. So let's take a look at how everything looks now. Here we are. The veins in my garden bed leaf. Looking all good. And then the trellis is over here. I like the arched top and the little flower medallions up there. I think they're pretty sweet. Subtle, nothing, nothing too terribly fancy, but just enough scroll work, just enough curve, just enough decoration to make me happy. The peas are coming along down at the bottom. Four panels, each of them are, I believe, 18 inches wide, I think. So 4 panels was just enough, exactly the right amount to span the width of the peas that I planted. So here you can see I've got a rebar on the back side in the center and a rebar on each end holding the trellis in place. And then the peas will be able to come right up and clamber right up this trellis. And so my thought is that once that is a nice big green wall, you'll be able to walk down this way and be kind of enveloped in greenery right here. And then coming up in this bed, I'll have tall cut flowers and dahlias. So those will probably come up, shoulder height or so. On this side, I'm planning to put in more dahlias and other tall things. I might be putting in a few more evergreens like that, or maybe junipers along this fence to give a green wall here. And then as we continue down here, I have some dahlias in the ground on this side, and I'll have more on the ground in this side. So hopefully it'll be a beautiful green tunnel that we can walk through and enjoy the garden. So I also plan to put some more vegetables along here. I'm probably going to put some radishes along here, or maybe lettuce, not sure which, maybe lettuce on the other side. When the summer sun is higher in the sky, this side of the trellis will shade what's over here in the afternoon. So I'll be able to put things here that can handle a little bit of shade, like lettuce or spinach or other sorts of greens right there. I don't have my plans yet for the rest of the bed, what's going in which bed. Right now I've got tulips over there. I'm going to be treating those like annuals because they don't really return very nicely for me in our climate. Right here I have 2 garlics and 3 more garlics. I might be filling in here with shallots or bunching onions to kind of make a border to try to keep the rabbits away. I've learned that I shouldn't have peas and onions next to each other, so I'm hoping these peas don't get stunted from the fact that they're planted where there are a bunch of wild onions. So we'll have to see how that goes. That might be a bad spot for peas in the end. But I have a lot of vegetables still on my list, and I'm going to be figuring out which ones will go where into which compartment of my vegetable bed. And I know I'm not going to be able to fit everything in there. So I know I'm going to be putting vegetables in other places as well. I can't imagine I'll be able to fit everything in this one bed that I have plans to plant this year. The other thing is I am managing myself so that I'm only going to do a few of each thing. So like maybe I'll try 3 or 4 cabbages instead of a whole row, or maybe I'll only try I don't know, 4 plants of green beans instead of having a whole patch. I don't know. So, but still, that takes up space, and I don't know how much I'll be able to fit in here, but I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try to do everything, have fun, experiment, see what I can do, and I'm off to a good start, I think, with my walking paths in the shape of leaf veins and with my pea trellis up and ready to receive the peas. What do you think? Do you have any suggestions for me? Let me know in the comment section down below what you would do in this space. How would you use this vegetable garden space? I hope you're having a wonderful day in your gardens, and I hope to see you again in another video really soon, friends. Take care. Bye-bye.